Alright, so here's the thing, this is an argument for going vegetarian. Now, I know this topic can be a bit controversial. People feel strongly about what they eat, and for good reason. It's deeply tied to our culture, our habits, and even our sense of identity. But today, I want to focus on something that I think we all need to consider seriously: the consequences of our actions when it comes to eating animals. Here's the argument: humans have, over time, become incredibly greedy, and sadly, it's come at the expense of animals. We've turned the act of raising animals for food into this massive industry, where the focus is on producing more and more meat, more money, more profit, without really thinking about the quality of the environment where these animals are raised or even the health risks this creates for us, the consumers. It's all about squeezing every last dollar out of the process, no matter the cost. Now, let's dig into this. Imagine the oceans for a moment. Beautiful, vast, full of life. But here's the reality: every single day, we're dumping tons of plastic into those waters. And it's not just floating around, it's being eaten by sea creatures. Fish, turtles, even whales, they mistake plastic for food. And then, what do? We catch those same fish, we put them on our plates, and we eat them. And along with that, we're ingesting all the toxins from the plastic they consumed. This isn't just some distant problem, it's making people seriously ill. Some of these illnesses are so severe that they're terminal, lives lost because of this toxic chain reaction. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about the artificial environments where humans breed sea creatures. Have you seen those fish farms? The ones where the fish are crammed into small tanks or pens. These environments are often, well, let's just say, far from ideal. They're not natural, they're not clean, and they certainly aren't healthy for the animals. And what happens when we eat fish raised in such conditions? We're putting ourselves at risk, consuming the consequences of those unhealthy environments. And then, on land, the story isn't much better. Farmers often rely on chemicals to speed up the growth of animals like chickens, cows, and sheep. They use substances to make the animals grow bigger and faster, turning them into, well, production machines instead of living creatures. But here's the thing: those chemicals don't just vanish. They end up in the meat we eat, and we've seen the studies. They show clear connections between these chemicals and serious health risks for humans. So, what does all of this lead to? Well, the consequences go both ways. First, let's talk about humans. We're paying the price with our health. The meat we eat, whether it's tainted with plastics, raised in poor environments, or full of chemicals, is linked to illnesses like obesity, cancer, diabetes, and other life-threatening conditions. Every year, thousands upon thousands of people die because of the food they eat, and yet, we keep doing it. But it's not just us. The animals are suffering, too. Think about it, these are living beings, and yet we treat them as though they're nothing more than commodities. We control their lives completely, forcing them into unnatural, often painful conditions. They're denied even the basic right to live in a way that's natural or healthy for them. All of this, just because we can. These examples are just the tip of the iceberg. They paint a clear picture of why many believe we should seriously consider going vegetarian. But of course, this is a debate, and every argument deserves a counter-argument. I've laid out my case, but now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is there another side to this? Let's open the floor and discuss.